Adobe Premiere Pro has just gained some awesome audio features that are going to change the way you edit. Now, these are presently available in the beta version of Adobe Premiere Pro, and if you've never downloaded a beta version, it's easy. Fire up your Creative Cloud app, and then you want to go into the apps section over here, and then look for beta apps down here. Here you can download the beta of anything from Premiere Pro all the way through to Photoshop and Audition as well. With that installed on your computer, you can now try out these awesome new audio features. Now, there are many features that we've been begging for in Adobe Audition that were introduced to Premiere Pro, such as enhanced speech, text-based editing, transcriptions. Please, Adobe, I'm not the only one that would really like those audio features over in Audition. But now, Premiere Pro gets something that's going to really speed up your audio editing for your video workflow, and we've had it in Audition for a while. It is intuitive fades. Now, this is how it used to work in Audition and still does. Now, this also works really well in Adobe Premiere Pro. If you're enjoying this video and you want to see more stuff just like this, remember to like and subscribe to my channel as I'm regularly releasing videos on audio, video production, and the new AI advancements in the editing and creative space too. So let's look at how it works in Premiere Pro. I'm going to make a cut here, and then I'm going to go ahead and just delete this little silent bit out, budge these clips up, and what I can do is grab the grey box, just as you may have seen in Audition, and I can, look at that, I can crossfade. I can do a crossfade, and I can change the shape of the crossfade. It's really, really cool. Now, it doesn't stop there, of course. I can make cuts wherever I like, so I can make a cut here and just do a fade out at the end of this particular section. And if I'm old school, I can still go ahead and click the audio track, hit Shift and D, and boom, look, it puts an audio fade at the end. And of course, if this was an isolated piece of audio, say I decided to isolate this little bit at the start and move this aside, and I hit Shift and D on it, it's going to do a fade in and a fade out. So if I zoom in on this, you'll see the fade in and fade out. And of course, I can change the shape of that. If I wanted to be really old school, I could go to the effects and I could look for constant power. Oh, constant power, how I miss you, and I could drop that in. But now you'll see constant power just looks like a fade. It's no longer a block on the end of your audio. It is indeed just a constant fade on your audio. Now, it doesn't stop there. AI-powered auto-tagging of all your audio. So as you can see here, I've used the auto-tag feature, and I've got the dialogue icon here on my speech. Also, the background noise before I started speaking has been tagged as ambience or sound effects, which is correct. And there's a little music track here that I dragged in, and that has been correctly identified as music. Now, this is going to speed up your workflow no end. It basically means I can get one-click access to all the audio tools I may need. So if I click the dialogue tag here on this little bit of dialogue, it takes me straight to the area in Essential Sound for me to be able to change the sound of that. So I can go ahead, I can enhance the speech to make it sound better using AI. I can change the loudness and auto match it to be exactly the right volume for my video that I'm creating. And I've got repair and clarity tools, EQ as well, that can do all kinds of audio work to my speech. If I then go over to the music and click that once, it's going to give me music options. So again, I can auto match the loudness of my music to make it the right level to sit underneath my dialogue. I can also go ahead and change the duration. Now, what is, of course, really cool about this is I can see that I've got a track that's going on for maybe not quite as long as I'd like it to. I maybe need an extra 10 or so seconds on that music track. So all I have to do is go to the remix feature here that actually will remix your track to make it exactly the right length. And I'll say, give me a 46-second track, and look at that. With just a simple changing of the timing inside Essential Sound, I now have a music track that lasts for the duration of the video I'm working on, which is really rather cool. There's also cool stuff inside the music section of Essential Sound, such as ducking as well. And if I tick that, it will duck against my auto-tagged dialogue up here, which is really super handy. I just need to set the sensitivity, the duck amount. So maybe I want a little less ducking on my music. I want the fades to be a little bit faster. And then I can go ahead once I've done all of this and maybe turn the sensitivity up a tiny bit, generate the keyframes, and look at that right there on my timeline. It is ducking the music at the crucial points during my dialogue. So one-click access to all the tools you need in Essential Sound is a really cool new feature. Now you'll see here, if I zoom in, there are redesigned effects badges as well. They used to turn all kinds of different colors when you'd add effects to your audio or your video channels. Now they're very simple. If there's an effect on your audio or video, it'll turn bright white. And if there's not an effect, it'll just be grayed out like that. But what makes this effects button really neat now is that you can access everything you may need right there from the effects button. So usually if I wanted to add something specific, say to my dialogue, like for instance EQ, as I feel the EQ feature of Essential Sound is really weak and doesn't have the kind of presets I need for dialogue, nor the ability to shape the EQ in the way I'd like. Now, instead of having to go all the way up here and change my workspace over to the audio workspace and make lots of changes and then switch it back to Essentials or editing or whatever I'm using, I can now just click from my timeline down here into effects, and I can go ahead and look. It's got volume, it's got channel volume panner, but also most importantly, the ability to add effects. So if I click that, now it takes me straight to the effects box up here. I can say, do you know what? I'd like the parametric equalizer because I think that's really cool and can do so much more than Essential Sounds EQ can. So I can drag and drop it there, and look, you'll see the effects turns white, and then I can right click parametric equalizer, and look, it gives me loads of different options here. But if I single click this, it takes me straight to effects controls where I can edit the parametric equalizer visually, and I can go ahead and I can make changes to the EQ on my voice. Obviously, I'd never do an EQ curve like that. This is just for visual demonstration only. And I can put on something like a high-pass filter to roll off some of the bass and boominess of the voice, or if you're recording outdoors, get rid of some of that wind noise. All of that stuff can be done with ease. And actually, if you want to hack for the parametric equalizer, and you want to make your dialogue sound a little bit better easily, I think this is an awesome preset. It's the vocal enhancer preset in the parametric equalizer. So while we wait for Adobe to update the capabilities of the EQ inside Essential Sound, Adobe easy win is just to add the vocal enhancer to the EQ presets, because I think it's awesome and it would do really well for so many things. If you've got guests wearing lavalier microphones or you just want to pump them up, add this. At the moment, we have to add parametric equalizer and select that. Now, obviously, if I was dialing this in specifically to a voice, I might go ahead and make a few changes and notch a few of these EQ bars up and down to really dial it into the person speaking. But as a kind of catch-all, really good EQ preset, the vocal enhancer is great. I might dip the high end off a little bit. Sometimes I find that a bit too extreme, but it does a nice high pass filter, a little bit of a low boost, and takes out some of the muddiness around 300 hertz. So Adobe, just go ahead and add vocal enhancer, this curve basically as a preset into Essential Sound, and everyone, every video and audio creator out there will be happy. Trust me. Finally, a couple of other things that have been added in just for aesthetics is the fact that, well, you can now resize everything in your workspace and the audio waveforms resize beautifully. Look at that. So you see how they get nice and big. And also if I turn this all the way down like that, you can still see there's an audio waveform. In the past, usually they just turn into blocks and you wouldn't know that there's audio information there. Well, that has all been fixed, and beautiful new colors as well. So you'll see how the music is colored differently to the dialogue here, and I just like the whole color layout. I want this in general release of Premiere Pro because I think it's beautiful. For the moment, I'm going to have to work on most of my projects inside the Premiere Pro beta download just because it's awesome, and I can't express how much those audio features, particularly these fades using the grey boxes, as I have been used to as an editor in Audition for so long. This is just such a productivity hack and a time saver. Now, of course, if I want to experience the new colors for myself, let's make this waveform really big. Let's right click and go to the label section, which is down here. And let's look at Caribbean. Isn't that so beautiful? We can go down to label and look for mango, and we get mango colors like that. I mean, technically the colors could just be orange, purple, green, blue, but we like different labels in Premiere Pro for those colors. We've got violet, we've got tan, we've got forest, we've got lavender. Let's go for lavender as well. Beautiful new colors. and so much more. If you want to get all the latest feature updates that come out in Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Audition, audio editing, tips and tricks, AI tools for creators as well, make sure to like this video and also subscribe to my channel for much more coming soon. So you've got the visual fades, you've got the AI audio tagging, you've got the new effects button, you've got the new AI tagging that you can click straight through into Essential Sound from, you've got the automatic resizing of waveforms, and you've got the beautiful new colors inside Adobe Premiere Pro. Let me know how you're going to be using these features, and if you really want to see some of the latest audio features that have gone into Premiere over in Audition, like enhanced speech, text-based editing, transcriptions, please, then leave a comment down below and let me know that you'd like them in Audition so that we can let Adobe know that it's a good idea to put them in Audition. And if you don't want to leave a comment, just simply drop your favorite emoji or your favorite letter in the comments, just because that's cool and it helps the video to grow. Thanks so much for watching and enjoy using the new version of Adobe Premiere Pro Beta.